But it's a class action lawsuit against all machines.
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce. No, seriously.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa.
So notice something. I defended him on his bad joke because I have standards and I have principles.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
And then they have cans of soup. Soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Can you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
Created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Everybody comes in, your grandmother, your father, your mother, your brother, your cousins. Everybody comes in, your grandmother. 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 Everybody comes in, your grandmother, your father, your mother, your brother, your cousins. They come in so easily, so crazy, so crazy.
I eat extra sharp. Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic in-stylution of the gosh darn god dang. And I'm doing a show today. Today is Monday, and I'm doing a show on Monday because today is Monday. And that's why I'm doing a Monday show, because it's Monday. And so today is the day that the show happens. It is a day that the show happens, but it's also the day that the show happens on Monday. And so hello everybody. It's very nice to see the users in the chat room today. It's very we have all kinds of users in the chat room, and that's great. And hopefully everybody is having a wonderful day. I would like everyone to know that this is going to be a great show. We got a great show lined up. And so, if my voice sounds messed up, it's because I was screaming and hollering on yesterday's show. And, you got to go watch it. Also, I haven't had enough water to lubricate my throat yet. So just please bear with me. So we got a show going on today. Today is Monday, which means that it means I'm doing a show, because I do a show every Monday, because I do a show every day. So there's a show going on. This is the Above It All program. So this is the Above It All program. And so, Above It All is a program, and it's every day, including Mondays, which is today. And so, that's why I'm here today, to bring you a program, also known as a brogram in some countries, but that's, that's just a mistranslation. But anyway, we got a program lined up for today. Let me drink some more coffee here. All right, I drank some more coffee here. Anyway, let's start the show. In a nod to JFK, Biden is pushing a moonshot to fight cancer. President Joe Biden is set to channel JFK on the 60th anniversary of JFK's moonshot speech, highlighting Biden administration efforts aimed at ending cancer as we know it. The president was traveling to Boston on Monday, which is today, to draw attention to a new federally backed study that seeks to validate using blood tests to screen against multiple cancers, a potential game changer in diagnostic testing to dramatically improve early detection of cancers. He also planned other announcements meant to better the lives of those suffering from cancer. I have one question. What if you can't afford the blood test? Oh, all right. His speech at the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum comes as Biden seeks to rally the nation around developing treatments and therapeutics for the pervasive disease that the CDC ranks as the second highest killer of people in the U.S. after heart disease. Biden hopes to move the U.S. closer to the goal he set in February of cutting U.S. cancer fatalities by 50% over the next 25 years to dramatically improve the lives of caregivers and those suffering from cancer. So I've got a 3-step plan to end cancer as we know it in this country. 1, abolish fast food. In fact, I'm not going to lie, this is to end cancer and heart disease. Step 1, abolish fast food. Step 2, universal health care. Everyone gets health care, mandatory. You got to go to the doctor at least once a year, mandatory. Okay? I'm just talking about we're going to fight cancer here, okay? Step 1, abolish fast food. Step 2, universal health care. Step 3, shut the fuck up. That's a key. We got to do it. We got to do it. It is a key part of this 3-step plan for Joe Biden. Step 1, abolish fast food. Step 2, universal health care. Step 3, shut the fuck up. This 3-point plan, I think, will change this country for the better. We got Max the dog here, who's, Max the dog, you have anything to say? Max, do you have anything to say about Joe Biden's moonshot? Give me this ball. You're gonna choke on it, Max. You're gonna choke on it. Look at this dog. Hold up. Get proper dog cam. This motherfucker almost destroyed my entire fucking guy. Anyway, 3-point plan. What was I saying? Right, we have a 3-point plan. We're going to end cancer, okay? Check this out. One of the most promising technologies has been the development of blood tests that offer the promise of detecting multiple cancers in a single blood test, and really imagining the impact that could have on our ability to detect. Like, do these people, like, I'm sincerely asking, does anyone at the White House understand that, like, a gigantic chunk of this country has no access to healthcare or health insurance? Do they get that? Like I'm gonna control F, like, insurance. 0 results. Health care. Okay. Provisions in Democrats' healthcare and climate change bill that the administration believes will lower out-of-pocket drug prices. Are we gonna lower out-of-pocket blood test prices? Right? Like, does he realize that we don't have universal healthcare? Right? Like, we had, before the pandemic, we had 40,000 people die every year because they didn't have health insurance. If they had health insurance, they would be alive. But they didn't, so they're dead. Throughout the pandemic, it was found that at least 330,000 people died because they didn't have health insurance. So, does he realize that, like, none of this fucking matters in a country where no one has access to this kind of shit? Anyway, 3-step plan to solve cancer in this country. Maybe we can get some momentum on that one. Hello, everybody. It is Monday in the United States of America. It is Monday. And on Monday, I do a show. And you're currently watching the show. You know, this show has been described by many people as easily the coolest show on the internet. It's been described that way. Not by me, but by others. And, you know, I really have to echo that sentiment. It's a good show. It's a good show. All right. So many people might not know this, but we live in a dystopian, late-stage capitalist hellhole where our government is incapable of doing pretty basic tasks. And so, as a result, sometimes we all look to corporations to save the day. And this is another example of corporations doing the job the government should do, but they're going to do it instead. Credit card companies will adopt a new sales code for gun transactions. Right, the credit card companies are doing this. United States credit card giants said they will implement a new merchant category code for the nation's gun retailers, which gun control activists say will help flag potential mass shooters and gun traffickers. I have a question. Are we going to still allow us to buy guns on credit? Like, oh yeah, we'll let you buy a machine gun for $10, but we're gonna make sure that we know it's a machine gun. I'm just curious. The International Organization for Standardization, based in Geneva, approved the code on Friday. For contrast, today is Monday. The system will separately categorize sales at guns and ammunition stores, which advocates say can help track suspicious transactions of firearms and ammunition. Visa, the world's largest payment network, will, quote, proceed with next steps, the company said in a statement Saturday, while ensuring we protect all legal commerce on the Visa network in accordance with our long-standing rules. American Express said it will follow its usual business practices and work with third-party processors and partners to implement the code. Quote, we are focused, past tense, on ensuring that we have the right controls in place to meet our regulatory and fiduciary responsibilities, as well as prevent illegal activity on our network, the company said in a statement on Sunday. A statement Saturday from MasterCard noted the recent bipartisan action in Congress is a positive step in, quote, meaningfully addressing gun violence. Okay. Now that the ISO approved the new merchant category code, MasterCard said it is turning its focus to how the system will be implemented by merchants and their banks. Anyway, read the rest of this if you want. But isn't that great? Like, we live in this country where, I mean, like, again, let's analyze this bipartisan gun deal. Is that really going to stop mass shooters? Nah. Right, like, and also, let's look at this, really? Like, is this going to stop mass shooters? No, not really. I sincerely ask, right? How do you stop mass shooters? How can you prevent someone from becoming a mass shooter? Now, many people have pointed out that mass shooters, a lot of mass shooters, are law-abiding citizens until the mass shooting. Now, there are some people that have red flags all over the place, but that's not every mass shooter, right? So I ask you this: how can we possibly proceed with banning mass shooters in this country, making sure that that never happens again? Well, I got to know the 3-point plan. Step 1, universal health care, especially access to a therapist and other forms of mental health care. That is step 1. Step 2, ban the guns. Just get rid of them. And yeah, I'm including for the police. Fuck the cops. They don't need guns either. Step 3, shut the fuck up. That is the 3-point plan on banning mass shooters in the United States of America. If we could accomplish this, we'd never see a mass shooting again. But of course, these things are not going to happen. This country would never give anyone universal health care, especially mental health care. They want people to be confused, stupid, and fucked up because it's more entertaining for the rest of them. Right? Of course, this country will never ban guns. I mean, let's be real. Right? Do you actually think the United States could ban guns? How would that go? They're going to walk into every room in every house in every state in the country and look for guns? How would you ban guns? Well, I don't know. Is it possible? I think it's not possible. Even if, let's say, Congress passed and the president signed, right, a bill that banned guns. Guns are now illegal? Well, there's like more guns than people in this country. How the fuck are you going to do that? So, I don't know. Either way, we're not going to do anything about mass shooters in this country until we actually deal with the root causes. And that is, 1, everyone in this country is fucked up in the head and can't get any help. And 2, there's way too many fucking guns in this country. That's it. That's it. I mean, now we got the fucking 3D printed ghost guns. I mean, I'm just letting you know, that's just not happening. So, I don't know. The 3-point plan that I laid out, not looking so realistic. But I'm glad that the credit card companies are taking the mantle here. Mm-hmm. So anyway, there you go. I mean, I guess we could talk about reducing mass shootings, right? Harm reduction is always a good thing. How can you reduce mass shootings in a politically feasible and viable way? Ban assault weapons, ban or track sales of ammunition. Hey, maybe we should start developing those guns that are like the sci-fi guns, you know, where you need to have like the fingerprint analysis or some shit. Start throwing that in there. Let's move on from the late stage capitalist dystopia to the late stage sci-fi capitalist cyberpunk dystopia, because that would be a lot cooler if you ask me. But anyway, there you go. The credit card companies, they're backing us up. All hail the corporations of the United States. Doing a great job. There was a mass shooting in Memphis. Fill me in, Brooke Holloway. Fill me the fuck in. Fill me the fuck in. Was it over that Egyptian artifact that they uncovered? Because I'd fill me in. Going to be talking about the royal family, actually. Maybe I'll talk about it right now. Well, I'm not actually going to talk about the royal family because I don't give a shit. But I'm going to be talking about adjacent things. So you know what's crazy? You ever think about crazy shit? Like, you ever just, like, think to yourself, like, man, there's some crazy shit out there? Like, if you were to construct a top 5 list, craziest shit ever, I think kings and queens, monarchs, right? I think that's some crazy fucking shit. Just the idea that there's kings and queens, that's some crazy ass shit. So imagine, right, you recognize the existence of this crazy ass shit. And then imagine you want to tell others, hey, I thought of some crazy ass shit. Did you know that there's kings and queens and people actually give a shit? Well, check this out. Anti-monarchy protesters arrested as Charles proclaimed king. Churchgoer says he was detained for calling out who elected him at a session proclamation in Oxford. Isn't this great? We talk about free speech in the US a lot, but what about free speech in the UK? You get arrested for asking a very simple question. Who elected this guy as king? Come with us, buddy. 2 anti-monarchy protesters were arrested at separate ceremonies for the proclamation of King Charles III. You know, can these guys come up with some unique names? How many King Charles do we really need? I say this. If you become like some part of the royal family and you get to choose your name, you know what you should do? You know what you should do? Name yourself King Fuckshit Motherfuck. Because I guarantee you, there's no other king with that name. Name yourself Queen Fuck My Mother. I think that would get people's attention. Fucking Charles. Can we call this guy King Charlie? Is that okay? Is that acceptable? Anyway. A churchgoer on his way home in Oxford told The Independent he was arrested after he called out who elected him as he came across a ceremony in the city marking the new monarch's accession. Simon Hill accused police of abusing their powers, claiming the new police and crime law had created a draconian atmosphere that has significantly reduced free expression and harmed democracy. Meanwhile, in Edinburgh, a 22-year-old woman was arrested after a sign calling for the abolition of the monarchy was held up before the accession event in the Scottish capital. A man was also heard booing loudly during the proclamation near St. Giles Cathedral in the city, where the Queen's coffin is due to lie in state. You ever see this shit? You ever you're on like Twitter or whatever news site, and you see breaking news, the Queen's casket is transported Think about this, right? We live in a country We live in a world, right? Because I'm in the United States and I'm still dealing with this shit, okay? We live in a world where breaking news is not that the queen died, right? Rest in piss, the stupid bitch. But breaking news is that people are moving her corpse around. That's breaking news. Isn't that crazy? Oh shit! Oh fuck! Breaking news! The queen's casket is on the move. Proclamations were read in ceremonies and towns. I don't give a shit. The protests sharply divided opinions, with some people backing free speech, but others claiming they were disrespectful. Imagine seeing this shit. Can I click on this to enlarge the photo? Oh, fuck. That's not the photo I clicked on. But imagine seeing this shit and not being disrespectful. Like, imagine... Right, imagine this, right? Imagine you're on this street or wherever, and you see these motherfuckers walking down the sidewalk. And then, like, it would take an extreme amount of I don't even know, to prevent me from being disrespectful. Look at these fucking freaks. Look at these total fucking buffoons, dude. Holy fuck. Quote, I didn't have a banner or badge. There were a few hundred people between me and the steps. Quote, there was an expression of mourning. I certainly wouldn't interrupt that. When they announced Charles would be Charles III, I called out, who elected him? A couple people told me to shut up, and I responded, but didn't insult them. Then police sort of pulled me away from the security guards. Imagine seeing this shit. Imagine seeing this stupid fucking fuzzy hat. And then your response is, don't be disrespectful. Holy moly. He was detained under the new police and crime legislation. Later, in a police van, he was de-arrested and told he would be contacted for an interview at a later date with a lawyer present. This is a massive misuse of police power. The fact that at first they didn't even know why they arrested me was worrying. It's the shoot first, ask questions later mentality. We're going to arrest you. We'll figure out why we arrested you later. You know, in the United States, they would just, like, a couple days later, they would be like, fuck it. We arrested you for resisting arrest. Right? So I don't know if they're that fucked up in the UK yet. But now, I have a question. People near me didn't agree with me, but didn't like that I was being arrested. Imagine this. Imagine, who is more worthy of disrespect? Some motherfucking bloke that got born into being a king, into like a pedophile cult, you know, or someone that looks at that and is like, they got like a twinkle in their eye. Oh, this is history. Oh, I'm just curious. Who, right? Who is more worthy of disrespect? Fuck imperialism, abolish monarchy? Crowds had seen a sign saying, fuck imperialism, abolish monarchy. A witness said somebody shouted, Republic now, during the proclamation. After Lord Lion King led the three cheers, booing was heard. Not our king, it's colonial subjugation of the Welsh people. One man shouted, let her go, it's free speech, while others yelled, have some respect. You know, I disagree with the death penalty. I say this. I am a fierce opponent of the death penalty. I would never possibly ever change my mind on this. But it would be intellectually dishonest for me to claim that I don't get tempted every once in a while. You know, people that really make me sit down and think about the death penalty. Am I really in the right? Like, is the death penalty really wrong and immoral? People that make me think about this are motherfuckers that scream at a protest, have some respect for the king. Those are motherfuckers that make me really think about my opinion on the death penalty. Holy shit. The wrong place at the wrong time. Imagine putting your full name on this shit. Yes, I'm Helen Smith from Livingston, defender of the monarchs. Oh! Anyway, dumb motherfuckers. Christ on a cracker, which I'm not allowed to say on Twitch. This is why I don't stream above it all on Twitch. I'm not allowed to say that there. Brooke Holloway, if you want to send me a link, I'll check it out. Yeah, I don't watch too much, but I have seen clips of like the Anna Kasparian hates leftist stuff, and I'm like, part of me understands that, like, people that do those clips are probably misinterpreting. But, like, I don't know, she has said some pretty stupid fucking shit recently. But if you want to send me a link, feel free. What am I not allowed to say on Twitch? Christ on a cracker? Anyway. Democrat Katie Hobbs declines Arizona gubernatorial debate with Kari Lake again. So, if you don't know, I played on my show a couple of months ago clips from the gubernatorial primary in Arizona, of which Kari Lake, was it the gubernatorial? Yeah. Of which Kari Lake was the victor of. And they're all a bunch of crazy psychos. So I don't know too much about the Democrat here, Katie Hobbs. But I will say, I think this is a bad move, and this is why I want to talk about this. Democratic Arizona gubernatorial candidate Katie Hobbs on Sunday again declined an invitation to debate with Republican opponent Kari Lake ahead of the November election. Hobbs, the state's current Secretary of State, had proposed instead a town hall style event in which each candidate is questioned separately. Last week, Hobbs and Lake participated in this style of an event on a forum hosted by the Arizona Chamber of Commerce. So far, so good on that. I think that's a good idea. However, the Democrat refuses to debate Lake, even after the Citizens Clean Ethics Elections Committee, a state commission that monitors and organizes debate, rejected a request from Hobbs last week to do a separate town hall forum. Quote, unfortunately, debating a conspiracy theorist like Kari Lake, whose entire campaign platform is to cause enormous chaos and to make Arizona the subject of national ridicule, would only lead to constant interruptions, pointless distractions, and childish name-calling, Hobbs campaign manager Nicole DeMont said in a statement. Now, I just want to say this. Typically, when it comes to debating crazy people, I agree with that, right? Like, if some random jackass wants to come on my show, right, and debate me, I'll think about it. Maybe I will, maybe I not. Depends on how bored I am, right? I definitely understand the philosophy of don't give oxygen to crazy people, Now, that said, this person is your political opponent in an election, right? So, my opinion is the context is different. Now, Kari Lake is a crazy motherfucker. A crazy motherfucker, right? So, the idea... Now, let's look at the first presidential debate in 2020. The first of two, because Donald Trump stole the third debate from us, that fucking freak. But anyway, also a reminder, Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. When Donald Trump was going out there praising the Proud Boys and saying Joe is a dum-dum and saying that, like, you know, Joe, you know, all this stuff, right? And Joe Biden just laughed him off. Joe Biden came out looking pretty good. So my opinion is if you are running against this person, you should debate them. Now, it's fine to say, yeah, this will probably lead to name-calling and stupid shit. That's all fine. If you want to go into it and say your pre-debate statement is like, you know, this is going to be a waste of our time, but we feel compelled to do it anyway just so that we can show Arizona just how crazy these people are. That's my opinion. Right? So, that's why I say she should debate this person and just play it cool. Do the Joe Biden method. Quote, Arizonans deserve so much better than Kari Lake, and that's why we're confident Katie Hobbs will be elected our next governor. I don't know about that. Respectfully decline the invitation. I also don't know about that. Why are you respectfully declining the invitation? Shouldn't you be disrespectfully declining the invitation? I don't know. The commission said Thursday it had given the candidates a week to agree to minor changes on the debate scheduled for October 12. The statement from the Hobbs campaign indicated that it is unlikely a debate will be held. The Hobbs campaign is concerned that a debate with Lake would be a repeat of the Republican primary debate, which the now GOP nominee embraced former presidents. Let her say that in front of a wider audience. Right? Let her say that in front of everyone that wasn't watching the Republican primary. So anyway, I just disagree with this decision, and I just wanted to talk about the general principle. Like, if we're talking about random jackasses on the internet or whatever, that's fine. You know, this principle, I completely understand it, and I respect that, right? But if we're talking about your political opponent, right, I say give them enough rope to hang themselves. That's what happened with Donald Trump in 2020. He got creamed epic style so badly that he decided to cancel on a third debate. Thinking about that is just the only time that would have ever happened. So I say take advantage of that. Give him some rope. Maybe, you know, tie a couple knots for him and walk onto that debate stage. That's my opinion. But anyway, there you go. The goddamn Nicholas is in the goddamn chat. Will you shut up, man? Yeah, the debates were funny as hell. Reminder, Christ on a cracker is a defamatory, hate speech filled statement. In fact, I feel dirty even saying it. So, is that my brother? No, it's just some random fucking freak. Some random, you know, piece of fucking shit. Actually, wait, no, I think you're right. Christ on a biscuit. Today is Monday. Of course, Monday is a day on the calendar but it is also a day in our hearts, minds, and souls. Today is Monday, September 12th, and I'm doing a show. All right, so with that being said, let's keep going. So, a couple people have been telling me to check out some of Tucker Carlson's recent segments in regards to the Queen dying. Now, I don't know, man. The idea that a self-proclaimed populist guy for the working class, anti-oligarch, anti-elite guy like Tucker Carlson would be simping so hard for a fucking queen, to me, is hilarious. And it just goes to show that all of the things that this guy talks about are fake. He just makes it up. And the only thing that really matters is white supremacy. So, here's a clip of Tucker Carlson talking about the British Empire. We gotta make the British Empire great again. Let's watch.
In the real world, the one that we
I gotta fucking raise the goddamn volume on this shit. Holy fucking cocksucker.
live in, strong countries dominate weak countries, and that trend shows no sign of changing. The very least you can say about the English is that they took their colonial responsibilities seriously. They didn't just take things, they added. When the US government withdrew from Afghanistan after 20 years, we left behind airstrips, shipping containers, and guns. When the British pulled out of India, they left behind an entire civilization, a language, a legal system, schools, churches, and public buildings, all of which are still in use today. Here's the train station the English built in Bombay, for example. There's nothing like that in Washington, D.C. right now, much less in Kabul or Baghdad. Today, India is...
Okay, first of all, I've been to Washington, D.C. Almost every building looks like this. Like, almost every single building in downtown Washington, D.C. looks almost identical to this. But anyway, let's go on.
far more powerful than the UK, the nation that once ruled it. And yet, after 75 years of independence, has that country produced a single building as beautiful as the Bombay train station that the British colonialists built? No, sadly, it has not. Not one. So despite what they may be claiming on Twitter tonight, the British Empire was more than just genocide. In fact, the British did not commit genocide, except arguably against the Dutch during the Boer War. The British did give the world the Magna Carta, and habeas corpus, and free speech. They helped end the transatlantic slave trade, as well as the ritual murder of widows in India. The British Empire spread Protestant Christianity to the entire world. It published some of the greatest literature ever written, and produced the finest manufactured goods ever made anywhere at any time, including now.
So, again, this is just a white supremacist speech. I mean, there's like, the mask is off. Like, whatever mask there was to begin with. But, like, this is the, like, make white people great again. We need to start creating a new white empire shit. Like, I don't know, man. This is almost identical to what, like, someone like Adolf Hitler was talking about. Oh, we're gonna build the Third Reich. It's going to be the greatest empire in human history. We're going to go all around the world and get rid of the savages and teach everyone about the greatness of the white man. This is hilarious, man. And people listen to this guy.
It was an impressive place run by impressive people. We will see many empires going forward, but we will never see one so benign.
Benign? A benign empire? A benign empire, yeah, you know, ritual slaughter, genocide of multiple populations, you know, shoving religion down people's throats and then killing them if they disagreed. It's a benign empire, really. What? What? Like, I don't know, man. This guy, like, the idea that anyone listens to this guy, to me, right? That's hilarious shit. That is hilarious fucking shit. Like, okay. Like, again, like, this guy is like we're gonna take on the fucking, like, every day, Tucker Carlson, we're gonna take on the deep state. The elites. We're gonna take on the elites. The elites are the problem. We gotta get the elites. The elites, the elites, the elites. They're the deep state, and then they're the elites, and then we're gonna take on the globalists and the elites. Next day, oh, long live the queen! Right? Like,
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
I don't know what else to say about this guy, but it's just so obviously untrue that is any additional commentary necessary? Anyway, there you go. So speaking of Tucker Carlson, now Tucker Carlson literally has spent the last couple of days praising the British Empire, the Queen, the King, and the monarchy, right? The most, like, if you were to use the term elites, oligarchs, right? Globalists, I think the fucking British monarchy would fit into that list. Probably more than anything else. Right? So I want to play a clip here, but before I play a clip from known dumbass motherfuckers, before I play that, wait, hold on. I'm getting a phone call. One sec. So that was just my NATO spokes person. They're just giving me my talking points real quick. Of course, right now I want to talk about this. I want to talk about Jackson Hinkle for a moment here in the People's Party for some added hilarity. So once again, Tucker Carlson literally just did a big speech on the Queen being the greatest thing in the world. And so Jackson Hinkle says this: "We are uniting Marxists and MAGA to overcome the oligarchical globalists and the deep state. If you don't like that, enjoy irrelevancy." Right now, again, the next day after Jackson tweets this, Tucker Carlson does a whole monologue defending the Queen and the British monarchy. By the way, did you know that King Charles will be able to avoid the 40% inheritance tax that every other person in the UK has to go for? If someone in the UK dies, their children have to pay a giant fucking tax. Isn't that crazy? But if you're the king, all the wealth that you plundered for centuries, it's all yours. So again, and of course that's the anti-imperialist position, because Tucker is an anti-imperialist. Right, so anyway, Jackson Hinkle was on the Tucker Carlson show the other day, and that's why I'm drawing this conclusion. But, I also have another clip here from, this is just entertaining here. I'm just entertaining myself, and other people can be entertained if they so choose. So I have this clip here of Jackson Hinkle and this weirdo going on the Jimmy Dore show to talk about masks in Ubers. Now, this was sent to me. I thought it was hilarious. And again, this is the same guy who praises Tucker Carlson for being anti-elite the day before Tucker Carlson spends the whole show talking about how great the British monarchy is, right? And this is the guy that says he loves the working class. He's a huge fan of the working class I love workers. I want to keep workers safe. I want to pay all the workers so much money. We love the workers. Now check this out.
I got kicked out of an Uber for not wearing a mask.
I don't know why this guy's audio is like the worst thing in the world, but just bear with me here.
This week, because they reinstated the policy for Ubers now.
It was so ridiculous. I don't wear them. I don't wear them in the Uber, and they want to kick me out. They can kick me out.
That's what happened. They said you have to put one on. I'm like, I don't have one.
So does that?
I haven't had one for months.
So does that guy now get to like tattle on you to the Uber people, and then it shows up in your permanent account?
Probably. We'll see.
So I just want to say, this is like the most popular anti-imperialist leftist program on the internet is the Jimmy Dore Show, right? In their own world, of course, right? Millions of, I guess 1 million subscribers, hundreds of thousands of views on a daily basis, and they spend their time, someone told me to put a mask on and then kicked me out of the car, man. Isn't that crazy? Like, I just can't. Let me play the rest of this.
For not being vaccinated. Yeah.
Like, what if you're unvaccinated? Like, I know, you know, making fun of stupid people, you can only do it so many times before it gets boring. But it's been a while since I talked about these dumbass motherfuckers. So I figure I would. Why not? Let's have a little fun. And again, so Tucker Carlson, let's just get a recap of the last week for Jackson Hinkle. He goes on Tucker Carlson's show to talk about how George Soros controls the left, Antifa, and Joe Biden. Right? Then he says we're uniting MAGA and workers against the elites. Then Tucker Carlson does a whole show about how the elites are great and the Queen is wonderful and we need to bring about a new imperialist regime. Right? Whoops. You know, a little bit of a miscalculation on that one. And then he goes on Jimmy Dore's show to complain about being told to wear a mask during a pandemic where 3,000 people a week are dying. Mostly working class people, mostly people that are working in service industry jobs, mostly people that work in like taxi jobs, right? Not, you know, Jackson Hinkle is not at risk of getting COVID. He works at home all day, paying his bills with his parents' trust fund that they left him, right? So he doesn't leave the house every day. He's not working and directly facing the brunt of this pandemic. Neither is Jimmy Dore, right? So again, we've had a very interesting week for the Jackson Hinkles of the world. You know, I really, you know, it is, again, it's shocking that people actually look at this and they go like, these are principled motherfuckers. Yeah, he just went on Tucker Carlson because Tucker Carlson's an anti-imperialist. Yeah, that's right. Tucker Carlson's anti-imperialist. And then less than a day later, Tucker Carlson's talking about how we need to make imperialism great again and become a new imperialist fucking regime or fucking Reich, you know? It's... again, and I get a lot of fucking use out of this, but...
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
So anyway, there you go. I thought that was entertaining. Fucking Canada. Can you believe Canadians are watching this show? What is happening in this chat room? Oh. It's a goddamn international super hit, this program. Anyway, that's pretty much my show. I mean, I covered everything on my list. So unless someone has any other things that they want to share, we'll move into the QCOC portion of the program. questions, comments, or concerns. Post your Qs, and don't forget to post your cocks. It's Q-cock, folks. I would like to say that the Spook 6 Cular will be coming soon. Have you seen Kyle Rittenhouse being cringe on TikTok? I do not have a TikTok, so I have been spared of that. No movie review, not today. The Spook 6 Cular will be coming soon. For those of you that are asking, right? That's what you're asking. Yes, I'm doing a horror-themed marathon, and it will be coming soon. So, there you go. And it's the 6th one. Did Sam Cedar break Hinkle or Andrea? I will say this. I take credit for it, because after his debate with me, he started this big, like, you know, anti-queer thing after his debate with me, which to me is like the main marker for the fascism, right? So, like, after debating me, which, you ever wonder why he wanted to debate me to do his, like, anti-queer cringe tour? Think about it. So, I'm taking the credit for it. Onion on the person who asked yesterday if Silent Hill is happening. Amateurs. Amateurs. Are we ever going to do another watch party ever? I don't think I've ever done a watch party, so I don't know if I can do another one if I haven't done one yet. No, Gene, we're talking about Jackson Hinkle. But anyway, I will be doing the Spook 6 Cular soon. I don't like to do teasers often, right? I don't like to do teasers. I like to just drop things. So, if anyone wants to guess when the Spook 6 Cular will start, feel free. But it will start at some point. I mean, it's already September 12th, right? So I'm going to be doing movie reviews, horror-related movie reviews, every day for a considerable amount of days. I will be streaming horror video games on my twitch.tv channel, including Silent Hill, Silent Hill 2. Maybe I'll play Silent Hill 3 again, but that game and I don't have a good track record. I don't know. The other day you mentioned some things you don't agree with Zelensky on. What are some of those things? Well, recently there was a big anti-labor law. I don't agree with the restriction of immigration and leaving the country for men. There was an order when the war started that said that all men have to stay in the country. Of course, that discriminates against transgender women, which are often, in the government terms, labeled as men. And so that created a huge crisis for queer people. I don't agree with that in any capacity. And I could keep going on, but none of it has to do with, of course, the war in any capacity, right? Spooktacular. The Spooktacular was 6 years ago, my friend. This is the Spook 6 Cular. When is Cooking with the Bitch returning? It doesn't need to return. It's a weekly show every Wednesday. Yeah, Gene, I can't tell if you're joking or not, but I hope you're joking. But I'm not sure if the sarcasm isn't transferring through text. But yes, I will be playing horror games on my twitch.tv program. And so if you like horror games or you like to discuss horror-related media, that's going to be fun. I will announce the schedule maybe the day that I start or the day before I start. Maybe I'll do it the day before I start. Where is Max? That's a good question. Maxie! Maxie! Kyle Kalinske and Crystal Ball are engaged. Well, I mean, again, I have a very simple comment to say about this, right? Crystal and Kyle Kalinske, right? I mean, and, you know, it's a mouthful. So I say Crystal Kyle Kalinske, abbreviated KKK, right? So I wish the KKK very good in their journey through life. I love the KKK. Anyway, we got a Max dog here. Maxie, uppy! Uppy, uppy, uppy! Uppy! Uppy, uppy! Wah! Wah! He's uppy. He's your baba. He's your baba. Wah! Ooh! Oh, he's your box. You smell like dog. Why do you smell like dog? Why do you smell like dog? You need a bath. You need a bath. You need a bath. You're an unbathed hound. Gene, first of all, what you're saying, like, I need you to understand, like, what you're saying is, like, the equivalent of saying, like, oh, no, I'm not a racist. I just think that, I don't support segregation. I just think it's better if, we don't have black kids and white kids in the same schools. I'm just concerned. I don't support segregation. I think racism is bad. I just think the idea of having black kids and white kids in the same class, I've got some concerns about it, but I'm not racist. So, just to be clear, being concerned about children who are queer is the same as being anti-queer, just to be very clear. And also, in his debate with me, if you want to go watch it, he said many anti-queer things, such as queer people don't deserve to be in the same class as workers, right? Queer people aren't workers. Queer people are all SJWs. Queer people are all woke. And he's anti-woke. He identifies as a social conservative, right? He is against healthcare for transgender people. He is against marriage rights for gay people. He has said all this. Now, again, he doesn't... It's that thing where he says it every now and then, but doesn't do it often, so that he has the plausible deniability. But yes, expressing concern about minors receiving hormone treatment, that is transphobic. It is a garbage position. And yes, it is extremely, extremely bigoted. Are you concerned about kids that receive other forms of healthcare? Because if you're not, then that makes you a transphobe. And I just don't tolerate that kind of garbage in my community. There is no concern about kids receiving hormone treatment because people that express this concern have no idea about the specifics, right? People that express this concern have no idea about the consent. People have no idea about what medicine and biology actually are. So there is no possible way you could, quote unquote, express concern about hormones for kids unless you just dislike transgender people. Now, again, there is a certain kind of, again, that's the same thing with integration. Oh, I'm not racist. I'm not No, I'm not racist. I think black people deserve to have rights. I just don't want my kids around them, right? It's the same mentality of people that will tell you that they are not bigoted. Meanwhile, they express bigoted beliefs. The idea that, like, there's someone going around and giving hormones to kids and it's totally unregulated, that doesn't exist. It's in your brain, or Jackson Inkel's brain, or anybody who believes that. It's not real. It's not a real thing. And also, cisgender people should not be talking about what kids know and don't know about their gender. Right? They just shouldn't. Now, again, if someone who's like a detransitioner or something, if they want to talk about this kind of subject, I'll allow that to have room. But, like, no cisgender person should act like a professional or an expert in regards to their position on wanting to restrict people's access to life-saving medication. Like, that's just not an opinion you get to have. And the same way that white people don't get to have an opinion on whether or not something affects other races in some way. It's like if a white person is going out there and telling you, oh, no, I'm not racist. I just think that black people shouldn't be in my school. I don't want my kids around them. Guess what? They're racist. I don't know what to tell you, right? They might not want to adopt that label, but they are still a racist. Yeah, I mean, I have attempted to educate him in my 3-hour conversation with him, and to no avail. He went out and did a cringe tour talking about how, queer people are woke and they're garbage and kids shouldn't be allowed to have medication. I don't know, It's ignorance, and then if everyone tells you, fills in the gaps, and you still have the same belief, then it's not ignorance, it's just hatred. You can only ride the ignorance train so long. And I also say that no one in media can claim to be ignorant, right? If you claim to be ignorant and you're a media personality, right, as soon as you make that claim, you can't use it again, because as soon as you make that claim, you have enough popularity, enough people are going to hear that claim, and then they're going to give you all the information that you need in order to no longer be ignorant. So you only get to say I'm ignorant once if you're a media personality, and you can't say it again. I mean, maybe you could pull it out on different subjects, right? But ignorance is not knowing something and not talking about it. Hatred is not knowing something or knowing something and then talking about it endlessly. But just to be very clear on my opinion on that. Yeah, no, it's all good, Gene. I got you. I'm just filling in the gaps. But I have had personal experience with this fella, so I'm a little bit more informed on the subject in relation to him than most people, I would imagine. Spit Dragon, I can tell you this, though, that there's a lot of problems with giving medication to children against their will, right? Hormone therapy is not on that list. I can assure you that. There is really no child that's going to be given puberty blockers at age 12 against their will. And if that does happen, guess what? I'm against that because I'm against violating people's consent, that, and that has no bearing on whether or not that is a treatment that should be allowed. In the same way that you being forced to be medicated against your will without your consent, right? You shouldn't have been in that position. But if someone consents, then they should be allowed to be in that position. But if we're going to be talking about kids and medical experimentation, I have a lot more problems with giving kids sugar, juice boxes, and soda than I do with any sort of psychoactive medication or hormone-related medication. I think giving kids high fructose corn syrup infused baby formula is extremely 90,000% more problematic than anything that that is the worst thing imaginable. Giving kids sugar addictions at the age of 7 days. That shit's fucking crazy. Johnny Truant, just to fill in the gap in your information banks, most trans people understand that they're trans, or at least understand, for me, I can say 3 years old is when I knew I was trans. Most trans people will say the same thing. They might not have the language to be able to express that, but I can tell you most trans people I've spoken to can dial it back to a very young age. For me, it was around 3 years old. So it's all good. Hucock, who is using the sink in the background? I will not answer any of those questions, unfortunately. It is just outside of my information bank. I am not near the sink, and therefore I cannot possibly know that information. The only thing I can assume is that it's Max the dog. I mean, I knew that I was like pansexual or bisexual or whatever in like first grade, because I remember just thinking like, you know, I remember I had a crush on someone of the same gender, and then I also had a crush on someone of the opposite gender, and that was very confusing for me. And what is second grade like, or first grade? Like, was that like 6, 7 years old or some shit? There's still a difference between I'm gonna suck. Oh. Oh. But yeah, I mean, it's not like a kid is not, oh, I'm gonna start hormone therapy right now. It's, you start going through therapy. It's a multi-year long process, right? It's not like you walk in and you put like $1 bill in the vending machine and you're on your day, you're on your way. Because like, that's the thing, is like, without proper medical supervision, I would say that is a problem, right? Like, the thing about like DIY, do-it-yourself hormone stuff, is that like adults are capable of doing the research required in order to ensure medical safety. But I don't think a child is capable of doing the research to ensure medical safety in a DIY setting. I just don't. And that's why parents and therapists and doctors are around them in order to provide that medical knowledge and safety. I personally don't think parents should make any major decisions without bringing the child in for the conversation, but that's my opinion. I think children should be involved in every decision, whether or not it's like where to go on vacation. You know what I mean? And parents can, you know, if you want to go to somewhere, you know, like, but I think that children should be more engaged in conversations, especially when things affect them. Like, I mean, talk about schooling, right? You know, a kid should be able to have some say if they go to public or private school. A kid should be able to have some say in, you know, what they want as far as schooling. A kid should be able to have some say in pretty much everything, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm always happy to fill in the information gaps, because I don't want anyone that watches my show to go around saying cringy shit, you know? So if anyone that does have questions on the subject, always happy to fill in the blanks. So, because I do know that, yes, like, people cannot know something, but like, my opinion, if I don't know something, I would always defer to the people that do. You know, if I don't know something, I'm not going to say, I don't know anything, but I think it's not good. You know what I mean? Like, that's like the conservative garbage position, right? But it's like, oh, I don't know something, so I think the people that are an expert at this field should be the ones making those decisions or whatever. That's fine. Or I don't know something, so let me gain that information to be able to have that conversation is also good. Absolutely, Johnny Trillin, and that's a noble and very, very, very righteous thing to do. Believe me. I also hear random noises in the background now and then. I mean, feel free to conspire on these random noises, but I will not be weighing in on the subject matter. So it is a topic, a subject rife with fertile ground for conspiring with your own fan fiction, as I will not answer any questions on the subject. Max, why are you breathing so heavy? Can you hear that shit? Oh, you got a ball in your mouth, you fucking idiot. Max, why are you such a goofball? Max, were you doing the dishes? Why are you breathing so heavy, you frickin' pup? I was helping a 5-year-old write a story. If the story in the story was a baby, and the 5-year-old said to me, "We don't know if the baby is a boy or a girl yet. We have to wait until they are older." I mean, that's a smart-ass kid. Settle the fuck down, Tyler. Settle the fuck down. Look at this dog. Max, we're looking at you. You're on TV. Do something. You're on TV. Max, you're on TV. They're looking at you. How many viewers do I have? Max, you got 40 viewers. Max, you got 40 viewers. Do something crazy. Max, you got 40 viewers. Do a dance. Max, what the fuck? You're ruining the show. Max, come on. I don't think he gets it. I don't think he understands. Here, give me this. Give me the ball. I'll make you do a show. Oh. Oh. Max. I bought the tennis ball. It's mine. I bought this. I own it. Alright, Max is on strike. He's on strike. He picks live on stream to start his strike. Now he's going to start bargaining as soon as the stream is over. Anyway, that's the show. That's all I got. Bye-bye. I'll do a Twitch stream later, by the way. Bye-bye.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
Dumb as a shit fuck, you know, cringe tour, etc., etc.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
I'll kiss every guy, man and woman, man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
I eat extra sharp